Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to learn about the web page layout, and we shall be covering different things related to the div, how we can position the div and how we can actually set the layout of our website. So before moving ahead towards the lecture, I would request you all to actually see the complete lecture and also subscribe the channel and press the bell icon to get the upcoming videos. So let us start with this lecture. What we are going to do, you are quite familiar with the websites. Whenever you visit the website, you see different sort of things are actually present in a website, like you see in a header some of the information is placed there, like logo and title of the website, and some of the menus are also placed over there, and search button is there to actually search something, and then there is actually in the layout there is a one different type of sections given in the web page layout. Like in the right side, we are having a right side that contains some of the widgets and other type of information of the website, like displaying the news and etc. And in the left side, the contents are given, and you can see in website below the header, the slider is also playing, and the footer is given. So I mean, all this type of the work which is actually done, it has this, behind this there is a CSS, case carrying style sheet. So in previous lecture we covered basics of the CSS, but in this lecture we are going to cover more, like we are going to cover about the div positions which are actually to be float or clear. In this lecture we understand the float and clear. These two properties have a very important role while actually creating a web page layout. In today's lecture, we also will learn how to make the layout responsive one, so that it can actually be displayed on multiple screens. Like you are viewing the web page on one screen, that is your computer, then you can move to the tablet, and from tablet you can move to mobile phone. So in this way, actually the moving from one screen to another screen, the web page layout should be in a such a way that it should not actually give a bad impression. I mean, it should have a different look on mobile website, mobile layout, and it should have a different look on tablet, and it should have a different look on the computer screen. Because providing a consistent look on different screen, it provides a good viewpoint, and it actually attracts the different users to actually explore the website, and also acts like a good mechanism to retain the users, and they are not fed up while visiting the websites. So let us start. What we do here, we actually create a page, and let us give the page name as our home page. And what we do here, we create one external CSS file, so style sheet, and we give name as style. So all right, now what we do here, we actually create a one div, and div id is equals to header, and then after the header, we actually assign div id is equals to menu or navigation, whatever you want to give, and after the menu we give div id is equals to slider, which is important to display the images or pictures which are sliding. Okay, then we are having a different div to actually display some of the contents like in the left side and in the center and the right side. So div id is equals to left, and div id is equals to center, and div id is equals to right. Alright, now what we do here, after this we actually create another div named div id is equals to footer div. Okay, so once we are done with this, then what we are going to do, we actually display some text here. This is our website related to nature pictures. Alright, and here we can actually give menu, like we are having a home, and then nature pics. Here we shall give slider, and we say that this is actually the left div, and we mention the contents for the center div. Center div, and then we are having this right div. Alright, and this is the footer. So in footer, what we do here, % copy 2021. Okay, now we are going to actually run this. Okay, this is how our current layout is, but now we are going to apply the styles to this home page. So we go into the CSS file, and first we go to this home and head section. Then what we do here, we actually embed this external CSS file. Link relation is equals to style sheet, and type is equals to text slash CSS, and h reference is equals to style dot CSS. Alright, so we are done with this. Now what we do here, we actually apply some of the styles to different divs. So first our first div is a header div. What we do here, we apply width is equals to 960 px, and height is equals to 130 px, and background is equals to this, and color is equals to this dark slate gray. Alright, now we are going to execute this. You can see that. So what is happening, you can see that Now I want to actually zoom in and zoom out to this. Then you will be familiar that it might have some of the effects which you want that it should actually have those kind of effects. So if I press Control minus, so it is going to the left side on a very in a very corner position that is considered to be 0 and 0. So it finds the edges and goes there. When I just press Control plus, so it behaves like this. But I want that when I should press Control minus minus, rather than going into the left side in the corner, it should go into the center. So what I do here, I define a margin equals to 0 auto. So I want to position this div in center while pressing the or reducing or pressing the Control minus, zooming in and zoom out. So Control minus, you can see then when I press Control plus, so it has some good effects. All right. Then our next div is actually the menu div. So what we do here, we apply the styles to this menu div. Say hash menu, and we have a same width, but we shall reduce the height for the menu to 60 px rather than 130, and we apply background color. We apply this background color. Now here you can see it is also on very left side, so we want to bring it in center. We again try this same property, that is actually margin equals to 0 auto. So we again refresh, so it is bringing in a center. That's quite good. Now what we do again for this slider div, what we do here is slider, and width should be 960, but height we change this, so we have a height, let's suppose 300 px, and we change the background color, because we shall or we can actually place an image. Background color, all right. So it is again margin equals to 0 auto. So for this, and okay, now what we do here, when you press Control minus minus, you can see that it is going into the center, and Control plus plus. So pretty good styles. So now what we do here, for the left div, center div, right div, we are going to divide the div sections like we are having a 960 px. So we want that 150 for the left and 150 for the right, and the remaining for the center div. So what we do here, hash left and width is equals to 150, or we can increase to 170 px, and we apply background color equals to this shaded blue, and we see how the styles are applied. So this is a left div. Now what we do, we have a center div that is going to display some more contents. So center div has width, for example we go for 170 and 170, so it will be actually 340, and 340 are minused from 960, then we are having a 620. So that's good. So what we do here, 620 px is the width, and we change the background color of this div so we can see the clear difference how our layout is being made. All right, this is good. Okay, then our right div, it should be 170. Okay, now we check it. Okay, now you can see that there is a little problem with this div while actually doing this. So there's one thing that first of all is a very important thing, that we have to understand that the default position of the div is always a left and top. So it finds the edges and it places itself to the left corner. So you can see that all three divs are placed in the left corner, but they are in a normal flow. So what we do here, we actually first of all remove the normal flow so that the div should be positioned according to the way we want. Okay, so what we do here, first of all we create a one div, and we name that div is wrapper div. So we actually put all these divs inside this wrapper div, and what we do here, h wrapper, and we define the width of this div is equals to 960 px, and we say height is r2. Okay, now here you can see that there is a little problem. We have not specified the margin equals to 0 auto. So here we specify margin equals to 0 auto. So all divs should actually bring in center. Look at that. So this is pretty good. Now earlier you saw that the divs were actually going to the left side, but they were following the window, and now currently these three divs, left, center and right div, are actually placed in a wrapper div. So we have actually aligned this div into the center. So again these three div are actually following the same pattern. Again they are placed in left side, left corner, and in the corner, in the on the top and left side. So they'll be having from the left and top, there'll be only 0, there is no sort of space left from the left and top. So that is actually the default position of the div. So what we do here now, as we want that this left div should be here, but right center div also should go there, and the right div should also go there. So for this we have a very beautiful property of the CSS, that is actually float. So we float this div, that it should go out from the normal flow, and now we place this div to float. left. You can see that after refreshing it is going to the center, left side, sorry. Now this actually centered. What we do here, float equals to left, and we refresh, and now we are having another div that is actually right div, so we apply float left. Alright, so you can see that our layout becomes pretty good, and we can place any contents in this. Then we can apply the styles to our footer div. So we apply hash footer, and width equals to 960 px, and height equals to 140 px, and the background color alright. Now you can see that this has become a very beautiful layout. Now you can work with this layout and make anything you want. Okay, now the next thing is that what happens when we are going to resize. I mean, on a different screens we are actually going to use our website, then what will happen? So for this reason, first of all, you should actually include the meta tag, and name is equals to viewport, and then content is equals to width is equals to device width, and then initial scale is equals to 1. All right, so this is a pretty good thing, that if you do this, then this actually layout which you are making can be displayed on multiple screens pretty well. So what we do here, we are going to apply the different styles for various screens. For example, we have another screen that has the width, maximum width is 720 px. So what we shall do, we shall use media queries, which are write at media, then we shall write a screen, and after a screen we shall write and maximum width is equals to, for example, we say that 720 px. Now here you can apply different styles, like let's suppose if I want to apply the styles for this wrapper div. Hash wrapper is equals to, sorry, hash wrapper, I have to specify the selector, then width is equals to 100%. Now here you have to give the width in percentages rather than px. So here I have to do some changes. The menu 960, so we want to actually check whether this how this works. Now you can see that when I am just reducing or resizing, then you can see that these left, center and right div are actually coming down. So this actually gives the excellent viewport. So that is actually a good thing, that you can make your website actually very consistent, and make your website very beautiful, and can be actually viewed on different screens very easily. So hope you have enjoyed this lecture, and in the next lecture we shall do a couple of more things in detail related to this layout. And so this was quite simple. But we did first we created one external style sheet and embedded in a head tag. Then we created one header div, menu div, slider, left, center, right, footer, and we put some content. Then actually what we do here, we have done one thing, that we have kept all these divs inside the wrapper div, and we have applied the styles. We wanted that our wrapper div should be 960 px, and height should be auto because the contents may grow. Then here is the header div having different styles, width, height, the background color, and the color margin equals to 0 auto. There is no need, by the way, because it is already placed in the wrapper div, so we have no issue with this. The parent div has margin equals to 0 auto. It will all the divs will come into the center. All right. Then menu div having different styles, so no need to give margin equals to 0 auto in menu div, because we have already given in wrapper div. Then hash slider 960, margin equals to 0 auto, no need here. All right. Then left div 170, because we have divided the left, center and right. We had a 960, so we actually reserved 170 for left, and 620 for center, and 170 for right. Then footer div 960, and height 140, and the background color. And this actually is the media screen for having a maximum width is 720. So these styles will be applied only. We have applied these styles to wrapper div. We can apply other styles as to this as well. So this is a pretty good. Hope you have enjoyed it, and